In the sultry chaos of a Port Charles summer, the week spanning July 28 to August 1 sets the stage for one of the most explosive crescendos the town has witnessed in years, a wedding turned battleground, secrets detonated mid-ceremony, and the unraveling of alliances that once seemed unshakable. The union between Willow and Drew was supposed to be a peaceful declaration of love, a signal that both had healed from their painful pasts. But beneath the white roses and champagne toasts lay a minefield of deception, orchestrated in the shadows by none other than Nina and Curtis. Their conspiracy to bring Drew to his knees, out of revenge, out of calculation, or perhaps both, had been meticulously planned, with Portia playing a quiet but critical role. Yet no plan survives contact with reality, and once Willow begins to peel back the layers of what Nina has done, not just in the days leading up to the ceremony but in the tangled web of her manipulations, something in her breaks. The woman once so eager to move on and build anew now stands paralyzed, caught between the illusion of safety with Drew and the nightmare of being tethered to someone whose very existence may be a lie. Curtis, meanwhile, tries to steady the wreckage of his own conscience. What began as a vendetta has spiraled into something far more destructive. His involvement with Nina was never meant to be personal, but every action they've taken has driven a stake deeper into the heart of Willow's fragile trust. Portia warned him. She pleaded for restraint. And now, as Willow stares down the altar, her vision clouded by betrayal and the whispers of unfinished vows, Portia's silence becomes just as complicit as their scheming. Whether the wedding proceeds or collapses under the weight of truth remains to be seen, but the repercussions are already rippling outward, touching everyone in Port Charles who thought they could remain spectators. No one walks away clean. Monday brings no reprieve. Kai, whose role in the orchestration of prior chaos had been downplayed or dismissed, finally pays the price. Details remain scarce, but what is clear is that his time in the shadows is over. The consequences of his betrayal strike swiftly, and though he is not destroyed, he is certainly diminished. His reckoning marks the first of many, as the storm Nina created begins consuming those closest to her. Meanwhile, Michael Corinthos reaches a difficult decision. The man once defined by loyalty and vengeance has grown weary. With Willow spiraling, and the life they imagined hanging in tatters, Michael begins the agonizing process of letting go. It's not forgiveness he seeks, nor is it peace, but rather, clarity. A way to begin again, even if that means releasing the illusion of ever going back. The choice wounds him, but staying would destroy him. Elsewhere, Lucas burns with unresolved fury. His anger, born of too many betrayals and silences, makes him dangerous. No longer the quiet observer, Lucas begins asking the questions no one wants answered. His voice grows louder, his presence more menacing to those who have long benefited from his compliance. And then there's Sidwell, a man never known for subtlety, who explodes into action the moment he learns Marco is alive. The aggression is immediate, visceral. The news that Marco, presumed dead or vanished, has survived shakes Sidwell to his core. His past collides with the present, and the controlled facade he wears so well begins to fracture. There will be a reckoning between them, and whatever truth emerges from that confrontation will not come gently. Meanwhile, Jocelyn and Vaughn are locked in a performance of their own. Their relationship, once dismissed as a convenient distraction, is now under scrutiny. Port Charles is watching. Every glance, every touch, every whispered word is judged for authenticity. They must convince not only others but themselves that their connection is more than strategy or desperation. But Anna Devane isn't fooled. She's seen the dance of deception too many times to be taken in by surface charm. Her instincts tell her something deeper is at play, and she begins observing, quietly, deliberately, waiting for the moment when the facade cracks. And then, in a thread that weaves through all the chaos, the mystery of Britt Westbourne returns with devastating urgency. The clone saga, once dismissed as fringe science fiction, is now terrifyingly real. Jason Morgan, relentless and methodical, is narrowing in on the truth. His investigation has brought him to the brink of confrontation with Lisa Labrecht. Their history is laced with pain and betrayal, and Jason knows she holds the key to unraveling what happened to Britt, and what it means for everyone caught in the storm she left behind. Liesel, cornered and desperate, knows her time is running out. But Jason isn't looking for revenge, he's looking for answers. Answers about the woman who vanished in death but may have been reborn in silence. Britt's trail leads to Croatia, a detail Jason confirms through a series of encrypted communications and untraceable sightings. And it is there, in a crumbling coastal town, that the next chapter begins. Britt is not alone. She's been seen with a man who matches the description of the mailman tied to the recent wave of covert transmissions coming from the WSB's rogue factions. Their presence in Croatia raises new questions. Is Britt hiding, or is she part of something much larger? And if she's alive, what does she know about the other disappearances, about the faked deaths and memory experiments that have haunted Port Charles for the better part of the year? The connection to the mailman cannot be dismissed. His role, previously believed to be minor, is now central. He may be a courier for something far more dangerous than letters. Perhaps information meant to destabilize entire institutions. With Britt beside him, willingly or not, the implications are massive. The walls between reality and illusion continue to thin, and every character is being forced to reevaluate their loyalties, their identities, and the stories they've told themselves to survive. Even those not directly involved are being drawn in. Ava, for instance, senses something brewing beneath the surface of her own world. The gallery's new shipments have arrived under suspicious circumstances. Unfamiliar symbols carved into the crates, strange behavior from staff who have worked for her loyally for years. She begins to question whether her sanctuary has been infiltrated. And then there's Trina, torn between the unraveling of her mother's judgment and the growing suspicions around Curtis. She starts pulling her own threads, hoping to find answers before everything she loves implodes. Back in Port Charles, Sonny watches all of this with a growing sense of unease. He knows something is wrong, his instincts scream it, but he can't yet put the pieces together. Drew, if he survives the fallout of the wedding, will have to face not only the collapse of his relationship with Willow but also the reality that he was played by people he once considered allies. And Willow, once the heart of quiet strength in the Corinthos family, now stands as its moral compass shattered. She cannot unlearn the truth about Nina, about Curtis, about the silence that greeted her questions. And she may never recover from the realization that she said yes to a man who let others orchestrate her life from the shadows. This is no longer about weddings or vendettas. It's about control, about who controls the narrative of Port Charles, and who will burn when the lies come to light. By week's end, the town will no longer look the same. The wedding, whether it happens or not, is merely the match. The inferno has already begun, and everyone, Jason, Anna, Willow, Drew, Nina, Curtis, Sidwell, Britt, and even the long-forgotten Kai, will feel the heat. Because when secrets burn, they don't just destroy the guilty. They consume everything in their path. And Port Charles has never been more flammable.